And we're joined now by Steve Hayes, who might answer some of our questions about silly string, because everybody has questions about silly string. Silly. Steve, welcome to WCGO.
Thank you.
Oh, you're joining us from Watertown.
Right.
Oh, that's great.
Snowtown,
Wonderful.
USA.
I know exactly where Watertown is. It's just south of Ottawa.
That's right.
Tell us about this sign. I couldn't believe it. So I called our mutual friend. I said, "Is this for real?" He said, "Yeah, silly string prohibited, $1,000 fine." What's that about?
It's for real. Very quickly, what it came from was took about 3 months, but basically it started because apparently there were, as it was discussed in the press, gangs that were taking string, and I say string because while everybody calls string silly string, I can't say some of it may have been ours or not, I don't know, but it certainly wasn't all ours. And they were spraying it, and of course they were, because of the volume that they were doing, it was creating, a mess of sorts. And the claim was that the product was getting into their sewer system and then out into the ocean and was harmful to the marine life, et cetera, and so forth. And there was a lot of debate and a lot of hoorah. And at the very end, what came out of it was what you saw. In Hollywood, they banned it for Halloween, basically. And if you're caught spraying it, using it during that time period, you can be fined up to $1,000. And end of story. I mean, that's where it all came from.
I want to smuggle a case in. Steve, I just haven't, because I love silly string. Why is it so fun? What is it made of? What makes silly string so fun?
90% of it is really water-based. Obviously, there's a propellant. It happens that in our product, which is the only string made in the United States, quite frankly, the rest being made somewhere overseas, has a product that you use or that is in the air conditioning unit of your car. It's made by DuPont, and it replaced Freon when Freon was banned. And this product is non-toxic. It's CFC-free, meaning there's no ozone-depleting substance in it. And it's non-flammable. Essentially, we say if some were to get on a carpet, a toddler were to ingest it, it won't harm the child. And as a U.S. manufacturer, to be perfectly honest, while quality is always an issue, compliance is a serious issue, and we make sure that product is well within the limits of the Product Safety Improvement Act that went into effect on January 1st of 2010.
And by the way, compliance is one thing, and manufacturing in the USA, as silly string is exclusively, is another thing. But, everybody can say you're compliant. You actually make it here. You know what it is. And so when you say you're building a superior product at essentially the same price, you really are. You don't have to trust somebody's signature on a Chinese document to tell you that you're compliant. You're right there, and you control the manufacturing process.
Well, you're absolutely right, and quite frankly, we don't do our business by knocking a competitor.
Of course,
we speak to our product, but one of the frustrations, quite honestly, which isn't just for us, is, if you ask the question, is the playing field level? Meaning that any product that comes in the U.S. is supposed to be compliant under the regs that are prevalent here in the United States. And the question becomes, is it? And the answer is, well, we certainly don't know in every case. The only time we find out is when all of a sudden there's an issue. But we kind of wonder, is the playing field really level? I mean, are the products coming in under the scrutiny that they should be so that they are deemed to be compliant as we are? And we don't know the answer to that, to be honest with you. We don't. Well,
I tell you, I'm an engineer and a mechanic, and I can touch things and feel whether they're manufactured to, proper specifications, especially an aerosol can. I mean, how many times have you been at the dollar store and you pick up a can and you're like, I do not want this in my house. I don't know who made it, what it's going to do. It's just not up to spec. That's why we have brands and brand management and brand control, because there are names that the American people trust because we associate them with memories, fantasies, and in this case, fun. So that's what I want to ask you about, too. How do people use silly string? Are there people who just go out and buy lots of it? Are you selling it at party stores? Where can you get it? And what are some of the fun things you can do with it other than spray it in other people's hair?
Well, it's available in the party arena, both in terms of the mass market and the independents that sell party goods. It's a staple item in party, quite frankly. It's available in toy, and to be perfectly honest, when you look at numbers, our product in toy sells on an annualized basis much stronger in toy than it does in party. I think that has to do with visits to each department, and I think that you have a steadier flow of traffic on an annualized basis through toy than party. And what is it used for? Well, one of the interesting things was, and probably everybody remembers, there was the big hype by the mom who had a son overseas fighting in Iraq, who wrote the letter and said, "Mom, if you're out shopping, send me some silly string." So, of course, the mom's saying, "Oh, great, he's partying over in Iraq." Well, no. They use it just like some of your police bomb squads use it, to spray into buildings that they want to go in. What they're doing is they're checking for tripwires. And by spraying the string into the building, as it settles, it drapes over the tripwires. It doesn't detonate the explosive. So that's kind of an interesting use of it.
Awesome. I had no idea, but it makes perfect sense.
It was on all the morning networks. This mom amassed an enormous amount of string. There was the good news. It was all referred to as silly string. However, there was plenty of other string that was donated. And one of the problems is it's an aerosol. So to air freight it is an issue. It really comes down, does the pilot know it's there, will he fly it? Well, there was a pilot that said, I'll fly it over for the troops. But yes, and we still get requests from people who want to send it in support of the troops. So that's an interesting kind of
Well, how many times do you get to the end of a segment on the radio and they're talking about silly string, and I want to learn more? So let's have you back on sometime, and we'll check in with some silly string facts. And I want people to understand, Silly String brand spray streamer, the original Fun in a Can, is non-toxic. It's not flammable. It's 100% safe for children. And if it doesn't say Silly String, it's not made in the USA, and it's not Silly String. Thanks, Steve. This is WCGO.